after you're gone. Audiophile Nirvana is all that I can say. KEF R7, Eversolo A6 Master Gen2, Rotel powered. Do we need any more? Guys, if you want to see this video, go make yourself that cup of coffee, come back and I'll see you here. Ladies and gentlemen, welcome back. In this video I'm going to be covering both the KEF R7s, the Eversolo A6 Master Gen2. I'm going to be covering both of them in this video because I feel it's such a match made in heaven. So I'm going to try and cover as much as possible. Let's start with what do you want in a setup? Are you looking for a movie setup, music, stereo? What is your cup of tea? I would love to read the comments. Drop down below. My personal setup, this is a stereo setup. They will do movies as well. Well, not the A6, but the speakers with the center and the surrounds. But if you are looking for an audiophile grade setup, that is not going to completely bankrupt you. No, these things are expensive. But in this world, in this game, for a fraction of what the big players cost, you can enjoy everything those guys enjoy to a point where it's almost crazy to understand how good this setup is. Let's start with the R7s. If you guys did not watch the unboxing, up here in description as well, go and watch it. In there I go through the unboxing, I overview the speaker specs, etc, which we will not touch on too much here. This is the testing video. Here I talk about what I hear and what I feel. As much as I do give spec in unboxing, I'm not a spec guy. I've seen too many times where manufacturers lie on paper or they underquote. The high-end guys actually underquote their stuff. The lower-end guys wanting to get there overquote their stuff. So I like to listen to them. I like to tell you what speakers and amplifier pairings work. So KEF R7, I've only been introduced to KEF for a little while now. They sent me some of their speakers, very impressed. These I bought myself. These are the R7. They are not the Meta. They are the UniQ one before. And I want to tell you, if I can hear a difference, I've not had the R Meta. I've had the one before that. Video up here if you guys want to go and see it. But I've heard the R11 Meta. Those are amazing. Yes, obviously they are better. But if you can grab these at a killer deal somewhere, like I did, obviously do it, guys. They are so blooming good. So I was listening to them for quite a while now. Since I did that unboxing, they've been here for my stereo. When I'm working in the house, when I'm walking around, I put them on. And every single time without fail, I find myself sitting there. I would be walking, it's like, jeez, how can they be so good? And I would sit down and I would listen to them. Look again, like I always say, I can't make these goosebumps pop out. They do not lie. What do I like about them? Firstly, one of my favorite speaker configurations is the point source. So point source being your mid-range and your tweeter being in one. That makes no speaker, you'll see so many manufacturers try and do time alignment and. That eliminates the problem completely because they are point source. So that the imaging you get with these and the vocal clarity, while not being in your face harsh, these are not bright or harsh at all. If I need to compare them with the Morne Logan, for me they are not a bright speaker, but pair them incorrectly and they can be ever so forward sounding. this is very tame compared to the XTs. I was expecting no bass. I always make this mistake because, why do I make this mistake? When you go to the high-end manufacturers, it's as if bass becomes an afterthought. Many times audiophiles, they don't appreciate too much bass. I like my bass, so I miss that in certain speakers. These, for just the 2 drivers, and they aren't even big drivers. These are, I think if I remember correctly, are they 6? I'll just post again, I can't remember, the unboxing was quite a while ago. Can't remember if they're 6 or 5 inch. I actually think they're 6, if I look at the mid on the XT. So I'm not expecting a lot of bass, because I mean it's just a 2 bass configuration speaker. And then the mid is also small. The small mid actually gives better details, but just having 2 bass drivers, and not having like 8s or something, like we have 3 8-inch bass drivers on the Martin Logan. I'm not expecting to be anywhere close to that. Now it's not. It's not. The XT will destroy this in bass. But where this is bloomin' fantastic is how low it can dig. Again, this is why I say don't live on paper. Because if you look at paper, these don't dip down as low. I think they're like 40 hertz or something like that. Again, I'll put the specification on screen. They sound way more bassy and deeper than that, but even better how quick and how accurate that bass is. It's again, goosebumps. It's so quick, it's so detailed, it's so precise. Then comes the second problem with having smaller and lesser bass drivers in a speaker. When you go up in the volume, you reach those limits of the drivers very quickly, and you start hearing distortion, poor chuff, cabinet not being able to contain the bass that you are pushing, which the driver can't handle and the cabinet can't do. None of that on this speaker, and I pushed this speaker. While we're talking about pushing, when you are pushing, remember, this is a heavy load. Martin Logan is a bit more efficient. They are going in the 90 dB. Here we are going to the 80 dB and 4 ohm load, meaning they want a beefy amplifier. So I partnered it up with the 7-channel Mother Retrieval amplifier. Give it the power that it needs, and I pushed. Obviously, I'm not going to push to where it's going to be destruction, but I pushed to where it becomes uncomfortably loud. And still, most speakers there start getting to their limits. I could not find the limits of the speaker. Ever so that I came to the back and listened at the port, because you would then hear the port chuff. Nothing whatsoever. How in the hell did KEF do this? If I had to buy one set to keep, it would be the 11s. Because I'm one of those guys, give me the bigger one so I don't feel that I'm missing out if I purchase the 7s. Obviously I got these at a sweet deal, so I got them. And I can honestly say, I'm happy. I do not need a sub. You can add a sub if you want to reach down to the 20 Hz level. But what I don't like about adding a sub to music is the added complication that comes with that. If you're doing home theater, yes, you're running D-Rack, all of that, and you can do that well. But when you're running something like an Eversolo, it does have room correction, but it's nowhere close to the standard of D-Rack. If you're running something like the Morne's M1, yes, that now comes with D-Rack, and you can tune it. That will come in the next video when I'm going to test all of these streamers. Yes, guys, I know you are hounding me for that video. Apologies for the time. I've had so many deadlines. Hisense had me on deadlines. Only now, not even, I still need to finish some Hisense stuff, but only now I can start getting back to where I left off before that happened. I promise you I'm still going to get it out before this year ends. In this month of December, you will have that video of all of the streamers, powered, non-powered, lined up to give you the best one that you can go for. Back to this video. I could not fault these speakers in any way, shape or form. For example, with the Eversolo A6 Master, if I partnered that exactly the same on the Morne Logan XTs, without doing anything on the EQ, it sounded slightly bright to me. If I ran those speakers on my Morne's Rotel combo or Morne's alone, I had none of that brightness. I think it's the extra detail that the Master DACs puts out that made those sound ever bright. So when I listened to those, luckily what you can do is you can play around with the EQ. I tend to go for the more bassy files. So I have a bit of bass, and then it makes the speaker sound a bit warmer and not so treble forward. So I was thinking the same with the KEF, and not so. I had none of that. The partnership between the A6 and the Rotel is, I want to say Mevin, because it's made in heaven. It is absolute Mevin. I've got a new word there. I loved it. But still, what I did is I went over to my bass boost or my bass EQ, and I love it more because then I get more bass out of the speaker. Where the flat one, I did have myself finding I want a bit more bass. I am an audio guy, I love my detail, all that, but if I don't have bass in my music, I lose the soul. I want the speaker to be fast, articulate, exact and precise, but I need, when there's a male voice, I want to feel it. It needs to rumble in my soul. It needs to make me feel all warm and fuzzy. If I don't have that, I'm missing 80% of my music. So I go to the bass EQ. Let's step over to the Eversolo A6 Master. What do I have to say about that? All good things. Let's touch on the one negative that I've had with all of their products. And it might be up to my network, although my network is very good. But the wait on LAN feature, I cannot get to always work. It's a hit and miss. Even when you do it, it will say to you that it send the command to the unit, waits a while, and it doesn't always wake up the unit. Where with the WIM, with the Morne's, all of those, if I go and I switch the amplifier on, it switches on without fail. Not so with the Eversolo A6. What I normally used to do, if the wake on LAN doesn't work, I push the button to push it on, and then obviously it works. But without that hard on command, I was not able to always get the wake on LAN to work. That's the only negative. Apart from that, every single Eversolo product is just flawless, faultless. The app, along with the WIM, they are the two best apps in the business. No one else can touch these. I just had a client before this thinking of the A6, and you had a Lumen, I think it was a D2. I've heard those. The Lumens are great. Look, the Lumens are a higher end product. They come with a more premium price tag, but they don't have the toys. They don't have the super large responsive screen, which I absolutely love. And they brought out a new update now of the screen. You have the UVs. You have the UVs, you have the CD that can turn, but now also there is a tape deck. Look at that. You have a tape deck. So it looks like an old school tape that's been pushed in here. There's the UV. Look at that, man. I love it, but I like the less bright one. So if you play now, I don't want to get copyright, I just want to show you guys. I don't know if you're going to be able to pick it up at all. So it turns. It's so cool. And that for me is just, I love it. This whole unit, from having UVs to changing the color lights on there, absolute quality and class. I'm blown away by what the Chinese companies are bringing to us. And guys, I want to tell you that don't be those guys that Chinese, and you do get cheap Chinese products, but you also get super premium Chinese products. These guys are leading the way. Also, when I did all the Hisense stuff now, their stuff is amazing, to a point where Samsung and LG needs to really watch out. Same thing here. This is a company that works on streaming. Even if you look at their TV streamers and all of that, they are top class products. I don't know of anything I would recommend other than Eversolo or whim at this moment. Unless you are a Morne's fan, the Morne's M1 and those products, they are very good, but they have nowhere near the toys or the integration that these units have. As you can see, I've basically got all of them. I've got all the whims, I've got all of the Eversolos. Next, I will bring you guys the A8. The 10, it's expensive. Might get there eventually, but for now, I will bring you the A8 because I'm also curious. How is the A6 Master going to compare with the A8? The A8 has a way more premium price tag. I think it's almost 3 times the price. Better DACs, all of that. But apart from that, the screen size and all of that is the same. And we are just streaming music. Are you going to hear a difference? Will there be a definite, ooh, that's a nice sound? Or is it going to be much of the same with small changes, and then it sort of doesn't really, unless you are serious audiophile, it doesn't really, you know, it's that diminishing return when you get to pay, when you need to fork out the money. You might as well just get the A6 and be happy. And I actually think the A6 Master is the sweet spot, because they took the A6 and they added Master Edition DACs, just a few things to make the audiophiles a little bit more happy. And I really think in the time we are living in, where everyone is counting their pennies, the A6 Master is the place to be. The play, you can have the play like in a different room, a bar setup room or something, and then in your serious man cave stereo den, A6 Master. That is the boy. And then obviously that is not powered, so you need to run power to it. It has RCAs and XLRs. I ran both. There is definitely a good difference running XLRs. Going from balanced and unbalanced, I promise you the balanced with the XLRs is just better. Spend a little more. I know XLRs are expensive. Might be another 4K that you fork out. But when you are playing at this level, that is something I would definitely do. Before I get better speaker cables, I would change to the XLRs. Makes a huge difference. And guys, if you are interested in any of these products, hit me up. I will put a nice little combo deal together for you with the right speaker cables. Here we use QED, but I'm also in the process of reviewing a few different speaker cables. That video, and these again, Chinese manufacturers, that come in at a fraction of the price of the QEDs and the Audio Quest. So wait for that video. It will also still drop in this year, and I will test, well, I've already tested the XLR. But while I'm doing that, I will test balanced, unbalanced, and I will do premium branded speaker cable against premium Chinese speaker cable. So wait for that one, it will come. Okay, so Rotel is the power source I used here, and I cannot fault Rotel in any way, shape or form. They've never let me down. I've always been happy with any Rotel product. 1, they sound great. 2, they always deliver. And 3, they never break. I've never had one of them break. And if they break, it's normally like the slow burn fuse from a surge or something. You just replace that and you're good to go. The nice thing about the streamer is you can add it to any amplifier you have now. You can add it to your Marantz. Not that you need. I mean, the Hios is good, but you can add it to any stereo integrated that might not have streaming. Even the Fosse amps that I tested a while back, they're still lying there. You can connect that to this. And if you're having the ones that can bridge 2 amplifiers, you can have a very good time. Okay, so let's touch on the last thing about the KEFs. Before I just play a little demo on this system. I know you guys love the demos. Stay tuned, it always comes at the end. I also ran these on the WIM amp. The WIM amp Ultra? Yes. You would think there's no way in hell that can drive these. Guys, you forget. That is a powerful beast. At 4 ohms, that amplifier runs 200 watts. 200 watts. And I'm going to prove it to you shortly. I'm going to run the Eversolo combo and the Rotel, which is going to set you back in excess of 100,000 South African rands. I'll put the dollars in, guys. So this combo with the speakers and the amplifiers, you're looking at about 200,000 rand. It's not cheap, but it's a brilliant combo for, still like I say, you get guys that are going to spend 500k and not get you. But if you really want, get yourself a Winamp Ultra and almost any set of speakers if you can drive these. Just note, you can't push the volume high as you would on the Retrieval. That's the one thing, you need to be cautious and not clip your speakers, but it runs, and I'll prove that shortly. Let's get to that. Let's get to the testing. I think I've said everything I need to say about these speakers. The build quality on the KEF is next to none. Monitor Audio, Bound, Wilkins, those guys all make good speakers. Morne, Logan, they make good speakers, but I've not seen build quality like this. The binding post, and the way the binding post works, where you have the top and you have the bottom, and normally you have the spades in between, or the links. These, you just have a little flips, a little turny knob that disconnects it internally. And you never lose those binding points, because what you do, you disconnect them, you put them in the drawer, time comes to sell the speakers, oh, where's the binding post? Can't find them. You just use a piece of wire. That's not happening on these. You have the disconnector and it works a freaking charm. Okay, let's get to the testing, guys. I'm still blown away by what this worm can do. Guys, comment down below. Let me know. What did you think? What do you prefer? The smile, the A6 and the Retrieval combo, or the worm amp by itself? So let me tell you what I heard. And listen with good earphones or on your system, but earphones just will give you a better representation of what I'm trying to convey. Listen to the open and the airiness. Listen to when the bass comes in. And then at about 40 seconds, 45 seconds, there's a bit of a sparkle that comes, that runs in stereo. And it runs through the room. See if you can hear that. So for me, on the A6 Master and the Retrieval combo, the separation is much better. You can just, it's like a good whiskey and a super smooth premium whiskey. They're both going to make you drunk and you're going to enjoy both. But the premium, which will be the A6 Master, it's smoother. It's more articulate. It's the separation is the big thing for me. I can hear that's there, but it all comes together like a perfectly executed recipe. In come the WIM Amp Ultra. It does all of that, but it's not as smooth. It's not as precise. Is it enjoyable? Hell yes. Is it affordable? Darn yes. It's still an insane combo. But I can't see anyone really buying these speakers with that. You are going to do the high-end stuff. But I'm trying to give the WIM praise where it's due, where you can run a lot of stuff on that amp. And guys are sleeping on it. Guys, it's a powerful little thing. It's one of those toys you have to have. It's like if you are into cars, you might have a Ferrari, you might have a Lambo, but you're going to have an R35 GTR as well, for when you just want to beat the hell out of it and have fun and not care about depreciation and. That's the WIM Amp Ultra. But then you have your Kuniseks and all of that. That's going to be the more premium stuff that you keep for now and then. What I also like about this hobby is the premium stuff. Keep it for now and then. Yes, enjoy it when you can, but it needs to feel special. You normally build a nice stereo room. It's a grown-up speciality type of room. Not like 50 Shades of Grey. Suppose you can if you want, but that's not where I'm going with this. Okay guys, I hope you enjoyed this. Let me know. I love comments, guys. I try and answer all the comments. Let me know what you think. Do you have these? Have you heard these? What do you think can compete for the same amount of money? Let me know. And also let me know what you would like to hear next. So while I'm hounding and looking for stuff and bugging certain manufacturers, I can show them your messages. And it helps. It helps me get those speakers and subwoofers and amplifiers in. Okay, if you enjoyed this, if you liked this, if you found any advice and neat and good stuff out of this, please go hit the like, subscribe and share. More than half of you are not subscribed, and I know you watch the videos because I can see the analytics. So guys, please help me help you and go and hit the like, subscribe and share. Okay, that's it. Enjoy your systems, stay safe, and I will see you guys in the next video. Cheers, bye.